I've lost 69 pounds in 24 weeks, folks, and I've picked the goal weight. Hi everyone, my name is Chris Martin. Welcome to Keto with me. A minute ago, it wasn't even a minute ago, it was like seconds ago, I announced that I've picked the goal weight. Let's get to my weight, where my weight is currently, and then I will tell you about my goal weight towards the end of this video because I have another announcement that I want to make. So this week I lost look at my sheet here, 1.3 pounds. That, as I said, puts me 69 pounds lighter. That puts my current weight at 165.4. So if you follow my diary series, you know that I track a lot more than just weight. Weight's important, but from the beginning I've been tracking sleep. Sleep is ultra important. So to me it affects everything else. So I average close to about 8 hours of uninterrupted sleep per week. I had one day this week I didn't sleep so well. I think I got like 6 hours, 45 minutes, but it was decent sleep. It wasn't like the best sleep. I have a lot of stuff going on right now. In addition to keto, pretty much the world I live in is fasting. On a daily basis, I eat one meal a day, but I also like to do long fasts because of all the additional benefits that you get out of fasting, not just, weight loss. So, this past week I did alternate day fasting, so I continued that from the previous week. I noticed that my blood sugar just kept going and it was already in good shape. It just kept going even lower. So today I've completed a 11 48-hour fast and 11 72-hour fast. So, and I just started a 72 right at the end of this week. Week 24, so 2 days of it will go into week 25. So you'll hear me mention that I have 12 72-hour fasts next week. So all very exciting. So like I said, I'm a huge believer in fasting and all the benefits that go along with that. It's worth mentioning too that the type of keto that I follow, there are a few types out there. I follow what's called a clean style of eating, or clean/dirty would be more appropriate. Most of what I eat is good single ingredient whole foods, but I do, or low ingredient, should I say, but I do on occasion have, eat dirty. And when I mean by occasion, I mean every day, because every day it's almost impossible to, eat 100%. I'm sure someone's out there screaming, going, you can do it, you can do it. Yeah, but it gets very expensive. I don't want to go find uncured pepperoni only to buy a small pack when I want to, get a little bit bigger, and so forth. So every effort, I make every effort to do it. I make every effort to try to get grass-fed. I take every effort to try to get organic, but folks, it can be very expensive. But if I had to estimate, I would say 90% of what I eat, maybe 85 or higher, maybe 85, 90, somewhere right there is clean, and then the rest is dirty. And that's just how it is. So I attribute the success I'm having on my journey, like I said, 69 pounds, 24 weeks, complete change in under 6 months, is mostly attributed, I feel like, to tracking. Tracking to me is what keeps me, on track. So, because the numbers don't lie when I look back at them, and like this week that I had, you'll see my other numbers coming up here in a minute, but, they tell you exactly why maybe I only got 1.3, and that's a great number to lose, folks, but I'm just saying why it differs maybe to previous weeks. So I can always look back and go, oh, I made great improvement here, I stalled a little here, or however you want to look at it, but numbers don't lie. Other things that have made me successful, targeting, keto macros. I follow the typical 75, 5, and 20% as far as macros go. I want most of my food to be from fat. I want the least amount of my food to come from carbs, and then I only want to make sure I get a moderate amount, moderate 20% or lower, of protein. So, and there's other things that you can do. For example, the carbs themselves, keep them, that's one of the big things, is keep them under 20, 20 or less. Some people go advanced and do 10 or less. So put all these things together and you got a very good recipe for success. As I mentioned just a moment ago that I would get to my other numbers, so here they are. I'm gonna look on the screen to get these. My carbs averaged for the 4 days that I ate this week, because of the fasting schedule I was on, you know, was 24. Last couple, out of the last 3 weeks, I went up a couple times like this. This time I went up 3 out of the 4 days and, you know, ate 24 carbs. And that's mainly because, you know, we ate out twice, and then we had a company like cookout at our house, but it was a potluck. You know, I still ate very good as far as keto goes, but my carbs went higher than normal. Those 3 days together out of the 4 brought me above 24, but I still had a weight loss. You know, my ketones for this week were 2.2. That's great numbers. Probably the alternate day fasting helped keep that in check. The blood glucose average for the week was 70. My, you know, Dr. Ba's ratio is 32. Still all very, very good numbers. You know, but for me personally, I was like, you know, like to be under, you know, 20 or less. Now, you know, my fat ratio was 75% fat, 4% carb, and 21% protein. Pretty much in line with, you know, good keto-based macros. So I'm doing great there. In addition to all the stuff that I'm doing as far as keto and fasting, I like to do other things while I'm improving myself. And now, you know, I've done this since the beginning of my journey, some level of meditation where I just kind of, you know, just sit back in a chair and just tune out for, you know, 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening. And that gives me just enough, you know, of a relaxation just to, you know, just detox. So do whatever feels good for you. So you might have some other, you know, like maybe listen to an Audible book or, you know, something like that. You know, put it on your sheet. That's what I did here. If you get a chance to check out my week 24 diary series video, that's the long version of this where I get into all the details that you could ever want. You'll see that I had, you know, 4 meals that week, and you heard me complain a little about the meals in the other numbers segment here. So I'm gonna look down at the screen again just to make sure I have it right. So, you know, like day 1 of week 24, you know, we ate out, and it was kind of last minute. And the reason that's kind of key is that sometimes when I'm, you know, breaking the fast, you know, in this case I was breaking a 48-hour fast, and I was sitting, you know, I was, you know, getting up from work, and I was like, okay, I'll do some like, you know, pre-keto tweaking. You know, because sometimes the meal that I'm going to have isn't exactly 100% keto, so I need to offset it a little bit. Well, I went ahead and started having some pecans and some of my pepperoni, you know, and, you know, maybe a slice of cheese and maybe even some peanuts if I remember correctly. And then the kids come up and was like, Dad, can we go eat Mexican? And I was like, oh, that sounds good too. Went to a regular Mexican place. They were they were closed that day because their air conditioning was broke. So then, yeah, we went to an alternate, and the alternate kind of like the carbs that were in that meal were just not what because I ate tried to mimic what I eat at the other place and had great success. This, it didn't, my numbers just the next day, you could tell by the ketones and just some of the other things in the blood glucose that it just must have been like some sneaky carbs in there that I wasn't expecting. So anyway, enough about griping about Wednesday's eating out. So I went ahead and ate the next day, which was Thursday. So we had steak and salad, but this wasn't like the family. This was me stopping by and seeing some friends at a place I used to do a consulting gig at. And, you know, they were like, hey, you referred this person to us, so let me take you out to dinner. And I was like, all right, well, I guess we got to do lunch. And instead of trying to coordinate in the evening, we just went to a lunch, which is unusual for me. Normally, I eat like, you know, in the evening. Nonetheless, it was like, you know, on the fly, you know, went and had great steak, salad and all that, become a little protein heavy, and then had to augment it later, you know, but the carbs on that were higher than I'd liked. So, and then, you know, I skipped to Saturday, from Thursday to Saturday, fasted, and on that we were hosting my wife's like work party at our place. It's like a group of her friends came over, and it was a potluck, and, you know, I ate really good keto, had really good, you know, decent numbers, but I went over on the carbs. So you put those 3 days together, that's what brought my carbs. I think one of them was like, maybe the cookout was 32 carbs. But I log every carb because I don't want to lead you guys to believe that, you know, I always nail it, you know. This may be what I look like when I roll out. of my thing, I'll be probably more in the 25, 35 range as far as carbs. I don't know exactly what it looks like yet. Moving on, I fasted until Monday after that on Saturday, and we had this really nice, what I could, at home made quiche that, it's a broccoli, cheddar, eggs, bacon, cheese quiche, and it's almost like perfect on the macros to begin with. So that was a really good meal. But like I said, already for those 3 days. But they're still good meals, so you can still look at them. You can still get value out of them if you want to look at them in the diary series. All right, at the beginning of the video, I mentioned that, I had an announcement along with, I do have my goal weight picked. I've went ahead and decided that, my goal officially for weight loss will be reached at 160. Now, could I go on to 150, 155? Just a heads up, folks, I have an identical twin who's at like 150. So I know what he looks like. I know what I want, where I want to be, and so forth. So 160 looks good to me. Realistically, I could end up still getting down to 155, but as officially picking a goal weight and going down to it and saying, I feel comfortable with this, I'm ready to put a bow tie on both the diary and the results series. That's the weight I'm going for. From there, as mentioned previously in other videos, that I, dangling some carrots, that I would be creating like maybe an exercise series or videos around that. I've decided that, maybe not to do necessarily an involved series like this, but more, videos that get, very important topics across, but still can update you on these, where I am once I add exercise back in, where I am once I figure out, the exact maintenance, carbs and stuff that I need to maintain ketosis, but also to be, successful and sustain, exercise and everything else that I got going on. So I'm hoping that, after these two series sunset, you can stick around and see what's next on keto with me. I also forgot to mention in that little segment there that, I expect this to be about 3 more weeks worth of videos based on my weight loss to date. So, I'm at 165.4, I'm going for 160. So I believe I'll get 3 more of each one of these videos, the results in the diary series. So that would be like a week 25, a week 26, and perhaps a week 27. There's always a chance it could squeeze out to a week 28, but I highly doubt that. So please, stick around, check out to the end there. I am going to do a final capstone video that caps out both series in addition to those 3 videos, so you can kind of see my whole journey and then announce, what's next and all that other stuff. So that's it for today's video. Thanks for watching today. Please like and subscribe so you can get continued updates, and more importantly, so you can keto with me. As always, if you have any comments or questions, don't hesitate to leave them down below. Just remember, nobody's perfect. Be a coach, not a critic, and take care, folks.